Competition drives innovation. It drives performance. It's the backbone of the pure sport side-by-side. Let's take a second to look back at the pure sport side-by-side market. We all know who started it, that story's been told many times. But who really got the ball rolling when it came to competition in the category? If you roll back the pages of time just a few years, you'll see it was Arctic Cat. The Wildcat was the first vehicle to really give Polaris's RZR a run for its money, and it was the first pure sport side-by-side to outdo the market leader in a number of important categories, including ergonomics and suspension. The Wildcat changed the game. It pushed the boundaries of what we thought a pure sport side-by-side could be, and it gave us the ability to explore what a pure sport side-by-side could do. But time rolls on. Let's not fool ourselves here. We all know Arctic Cat is working on something big, and by the time this test ride airs, we might already know what it is. But for now, all we can do is speculate on what's coming and what it might do to Arctic Cat's flagship side-by-side. Before we go any further, I need to clarify. The model we're testing here is a 2015 Limited, but I'll be comparing it to other 2016 models. Since the only change in 2016 for the Wildcat X was graphics, the comparisons remain accurate. Let's not beat around the bush. The Wildcat X is underpowered. Well, let's be more specific here. If it's to compete in the highest category of pure sport side-by-sides, alongside the new RZR 1000 Turbo, Maverick XDS Turbo, and even Yamaha's new YXZ1000R, it is underpowered. But here's what I think is really happening with the Wildcat X. It's moving down the food chain, much like Polaris's RZR XP did when the 1K was released, and Can-Am's Maverick did when they pulled the sheets off the DS. Some say whatever's coming is going to obsolete the Wildcat, but I disagree. I think it'll just move on down the line and become stout competition for mid-level models. At just over 90 horsepower, it's down on power nearly 40% from the big boys. But put it up against other 64-inch wide units like the Maverick DPS or Polaris's non-turbo RZR XP 1000, and suddenly its fortunes change. Its 90 or so ponies are adequate and leave it with little to make excuses for. And for 2015, its reworked motor with lighter weight crank that spools up faster really shines. If you were to ride only the 2015 X model, you might not even notice it, but ride it back to back with the base model and the difference is very obvious. Likewise, its long chassis and long legs make no excuses if you compare the X with vehicles that have similar horsepower. 18 inches of travel from its 5-link rear end rules the stats page, and no matter what you compare it to, does a fantastic job of soaking up literally anything you can throw at it. From 70-foot doubles to endless 2-foot whoops, it doesn't matter. Of course, the big news in the suspension department for 2015 is Arctic Cat's partnership with Elka. Now, we've already swooned over the Stage 5s found on the Wildcat Sport Limited we tested earlier this season. They are just awesome. There's no other way to put it. Adjustable in every way, ultra high build quality, cool looks, and obviously the smoothest operation in the business. When it was revealed this same setup, just longer, would also be available on the X Limited, it was like Arctic Cat was lighting candles and tossing out rose petals for us while dimming the lights down. Ergonomically, the Wildcat is still the most comfortable for extreme riding. The cockpit is sparse and is beginning to look pretty dated, but these laid-back bucket seats are just so darn comfortable, and the extra legroom is really welcomed by taller riders. Our Limited model comes with a truly impressive list of upgrade features over the base and X models. For once, a Limited model is actually worthy of the name. We've talked about the Elka shocks and new lightweight crank already, but there is lots more. A full set of aluminum doors, a roof, cast aluminum beadlock wheels wrapped in 27-inch ITP Blackwater Evolution tires, front and rear aluminum bumpers, automotive paint. This is a long list. But what's interesting about this list is that everything on it adds tangible value because it's something you'd likely pay to add later. And this brings me to my last point. I believe it makes the most sense to compare the Wildcat to other 90 to 110 horsepower 64-inch wide side-by-sides rather than the newest crop of big bad 130 to 140 horsepower turbocharged units based on horsepower alone. But there is another reason why this comparison makes the most sense. Price. The Wildcat X Limited is a few hundred less than the Polaris at full MSRP. As a limited model, it's significantly more than the Maverick, but includes way more features that easily make up the difference. We think, when compared fairly, the Wildcat X Limited is a fantastic side-by-side for an extremely competitive price. And really, what more can you ask for? If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Trax TV's YouTube channel so you never miss another update.